This guy has helped e-commerce companies make millions of dollars a month selling their products through TikTok Shop. He's also coached creators on how to make $100,000 a month in affiliate commissions through TikTok. His name's Mike Rama, and today I get to host him on the show. Mike is the founder of a company called Brand Meets Creators, and today he's going to share with us the exact tactics that he's seeing work for brands to make millions in revenue off of TikTok Shop. He's going to share how you need to launch with at least 1,000 affiliates to even have a chance of making an impact. He's also going to share the content types that they're seeing go viral and how you need to design products that are specifically for TikTok Shop that make people do an impulse buy. He also shares all of the common mistakes brands are making related to TikTok Shop so that you can dodge them. This podcast is brought to you by LandingCat.com. Landing Cat builds thousands of collection pages related to long-tail keywords that are related to your product. Go to LandingCat.com to learn more. And now here's Mike. Mike, what's good, baby? How you doing?
Cody, what's going on, man? Excited to be here.
Dude, I'm so stoked to have you. I'm just going to jump right into it. What is like the most money you've seen a TikTok creator make in a month so far with TikTok Shop?
Wow, that's a great question. Around 125K in commission.
It's insane. That's insane. What about a brand? Like how much are you seeing them make in a month? Like what's your biggest kind of clients that you've seen?
So for example, that one video right there that I referenced, that did, I think like 700,000 for the brand in particular. Oh, and that's just one video, right? Of course, that's an outlier, right? You don't see that 1,000%. One every single day. But one brand that we worked with, they were actually a brand new company beginning of this year, right? Zero traction on all platforms, brand new, Shopify, Amazon, starting from zero. We started working with them in March. And then in June, they were doing $1 million a month on TikTok Shop alone.
Insane. Yeah. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. Okay, so for the uninitiated, what is TikTok Shop? What is happening here? I feel like everybody's starting to see it everywhere. If you're like into online business at all, you've probably come across it in some form. But for the uninitiated, educate them, bless them with your knowledge.
Yeah. At a high level, essentially what TikTok did is they built in like their e-commerce side of the platform. And so now there's this built-in user base of affiliates that they can select pretty much any product that they want that TikTok offers. They can see, okay, this product right here offers a 10% commission, 20%, 30%. Creator goes in, they request a sample. They can start making videos with that product and then they get paid out by TikTok. The brand's happy because they're getting sales. So yeah, it's basically TikTok's e-commerce arm.
Oh, so fascinating. Like, we talked the other day about this, and I feel like it falls into this vein. It almost feels like QVC, but for social, basically. And I know like this type of selling has happened a lot, like already in Asia in particular, like across all of these. But it feels like the first kind of introduction into the US. How are you guys thinking about it or communicating it to the brands that you're working with and the clients that are trying to adopt this?
It's pretty different from what a lot of these brands are used to because they're used to the typical influencer marketing on Instagram. And this is a very different ballgame. Like you mentioned, it does feel a little bit more QVC style. A lot of these affiliates or creators that we see doing these insane numbers, they don't have your typical like influencer audience like you would expect. Basically, what they're doing is they're just a salesperson. Every single video is them selling something new, right? And it's less so about their followers. It's less so about their audience. Everything on TikTok, it's discovery based. It's all about hitting the For You page, right? So we get a lot of brands that are like, aren't the people going to get annoyed that this girl's just like selling something every video? And the answer is no, right? Because TikTok's so different. It's not really about the followers that much. It's, hey, can I go viral? Can I hit the For You page? Can I get this out to new people? And I'm going to sell on every single video. So it's very different than your traditional Instagram influencer marketing.
This only works with For You page too, right? Like I'm just thinking about this. If you took a traditional like Instagram model where followers are, important for the reach of the account, like this doesn't work, right? Because like you just saturate that audience really quickly. And it's really, in a way, this is not a brand building activity. This is more of a transactional. I'm just trying to like almost an affiliate play is what it feels like. That's what it is probably at its core. That's super interesting. Are they combining this with other like activities, like other influencer activities? Or like, how are they structuring these types of campaigns? Like they have a TikTok shop and then they're also doing Instagram influencer type deals as well? Or what does that look like?
Right now, the other platforms, right? YouTube, Instagram, they don't really have their version of this, but I can almost guarantee it's coming. right? That's just what Meta does. That's what these other platforms do. You look what Instagram did with Snapchat, right? Snapchat rolled out stories. It was a huge hit. Instagram rolls out stories. You look what every single platform is doing right now with short form content. TikTok rolled it out. It was an incredible hit. Now every single platform is doing it. The same thing is going to happen with TikTok Shop, right? It's taking over. This is how people are going to buy. Every single platform is going to go this direction. It's not there yet on the other platforms, right? TikTok is the only one that has this figured out. But in terms of how brands are thinking about this, how we're seeing them combine this with some other things on the platform, there's a handful of things that some of these brands that are a bit further ahead in the game are doing. One of them is not only just leveraging affiliates, but like affiliates on retainer. You see this going on. It happens behind the scenes. You got to know really like where to look with these things. But
so it's commission and then a retainer to do a certain amount of videos per month or something like that.
Exactly. Some of these top brands, what they're doing is they're paying these affiliates maybe $500 a month, $1,000 a month, and they're going out and they're making 30 videos.
Dude, they're just they're just talent, right? Like it's this kind of weird cross section. I feel like of like sales and talent, traditional talent that a media company would hire. That's so fascinating. What are these deal structures looking? 10% commission on everything you sell, and then $2,000 a month, or what do you see in the average be?
It's typically lower right now. Yeah, right now brands can get away with paying like very low rates because this started off with creators just posting for free, right? So now that the creators, I'm in their head, the creators, I'm going to post 30, 50 videos this month anyway. I'm going to do it for free to try to hit these viral videos and get this upside. If I can take an extra $5 from this brand and an extra $800 from this brand, like I'm going to do it. So the rates right now are incredible for these brands that are really hopping in and doing it. Yeah, it's also going to depend on the quality of that affiliate, right? Like we have some affiliates that they've done 7 figures in GMV and they'll charge $3,000 to $5,000 per month to make 30 videos, which like even that is such a crazy steal. You're talking about $100, maybe $200 a video, when on average, this creator does like $5,000 in GMV per video.
I can't even get that on like Billo or any of these other. Do they own the media that they make for them? So like the brand owns the media, or how does that work?
Typically with that agreement, no. But like it wouldn't be too hard to just pay extra to say, hey, we're also going to
buy that viral video. We want to run it as an ad, something like that.
So here's how so what we just talked about, that's how it would work if they wanted to run it on like Facebook or something. However, TikTok has this built-in, it's called Spark Ads, where pretty much all of those creators, they're going to give the brand access to run it as an ad on TikTok because it benefits them, because they're still getting commissions. So not only are the brands getting all of this content on the organic side, they can basically go take any top video that converts, put as much ad spend as they want behind it, and every creator is, yes, please do that because they're still earning their commission.
Okay. Oh my God. So just like technologically, I want to walk through how this functions. So they create a video, it goes viral. The product is it linked within the app below within TikTok? They click that, probably a slide up happens. That brand connected their Shopify store, or whatever they're using as a CMS. And then when that purchase occurs, it's basically sent back to that. It's tagged as coming from that influencer. Is that how that works, or what does that look like?
Kind of one nuance. The actual entire purchase process happens within TikTok. So it's not like Instagram where like you're actually going to their Shopify store or whatever. The full process is within TikTok. On the back end, the fulfillment, a lot of brands will have still like it'll be linked with like their FBA or whatever their Shopify fulfillment is. But yeah, the entire checkout process, purchasing process happens right on TikTok. And then TikTok does all of the tracking, all of the payouts as well. So that user will make a purchase, $20 goes to TikTok. TikTok takes that $20 and they keep 8% to themselves. They send 20% to the affiliate, and the remaining 70% goes over to the brand. So all the payout, all the tracking happens within TikTok.
Are you seeing that TikTok pushes these videos harder if high purchase volume occurs? Like they're almost, they make money off it, right? So of course that's probably happening, but
it's exactly what happens. Yeah. TikTok is incentivized to sell this stuff at the end of the day. So one other thing that happens that's pretty cool is they create their own like retargeting ecosystem, right? Once you get this flywheel going, some traction with your product, all of a sudden you have 500 affiliates making content for you. Now as a viewer, I'm scrolling, I see that product. Oh, this is cool. Maybe I click it, I add it to my cart, I don't buy. Now TikTok, they know, right? They know, okay, this person's interested in this product. Now, their For You page is just seeing that product more and more. It creates this whole retargeting ecosystem. And that's why a lot of the smart affiliates, pretty much all of them, that they understand at this point, the way to make the most money is by promoting products that are already selling really well, right? Because you have this whole like ecosystem built out.
How are these brands sustaining this? I'm just imagining the inventory challenges with something like this. If you go viral, it must be, you're probably just fighting constantly to keep inventory in. What does that look like from the company standpoint? Are they just, we don't even know what's going on, or these are already established brands?
We've seen that a handful of times. I think brands they're more prepared for it now because they've heard like the stories. The one brand I was telling you that went from 0 to $1 million a month in like just about 8 weeks. We had something similar happen where their first batch of inventory, they had 5,000 units or something like that. And at that time, there was this like early kind of probation period. TikTok still has something similar, but they constantly change it. It's basically just to make sure that you're a reputable store, you're not scamming people, you're actually sending out the product. But what they were stuck in was this phase where they could only sell 200 units a day. So for the first couple weeks, videos were going viral like crazy. Midnight would hit. By 3 a.m., they were sold out of the 200 units every single day. And so we see this going on, and we see that they don't have that many units. And I had a conversation with them, and they're like, hey, we're thinking about, we know we need to place our next order. We're going to get maybe 10,000 units. And I'm like, no, like you need to get 100,000 units. Like once you guys are lifted, we're going to sell 10,000 units in 3 days. They talked to the supplier and everything. They got 100,000 units in, and thankfully they did because it went crazy the next month. Same. But inventory, yeah, that can be an issue. We've seen it. One brand that we recently went viral with, they have these like drinking straws that like they're filters, right? So you could go drink out of like a creek, right? It's like a survival.
Yeah, totally.
And there were a couple videos that just went nuts. Individual videos that did 300,000 in sales, something like that. And they've just been, their main problem has been keeping it in stock.
Totally. No, I'm just imagining if you think about the water bottle craze of Stanley, or even what's the other one that's like the vacuum sealed. I can't think of the name right now, but like something like that. If you make that happen, that's going to be the biggest challenge that you're facing just constantly. Okay. The brands, like what are the types of products that you're seeing be the most successful? Like price point wise, are they one-off purchases? Are they recurring purchases? What is that? What's the biology of these types of products that are working really effectively?
Great question, because I think the product is everything. So a lot of brands come over and they're like, hey, we got this huge brand. We're super well known. We're in stores. Doesn't matter at all. It's really the product, right? And the stuff that's doing well, typically it's an impulse buy price range, something under $50, ideally the $20 to $40 range. It needs to have that wow factor, right? It needs to be a product that has the potential
like very visual, almost like visceral in a way.
Exactly. That's super helpful. And then even if it's not a visual product, it needs like some unique element to it, right? You can't just have like your normal B complex vitamin, or you're just selling a plain thing, because it's so hard for a creator to sell that, right? It needs that unique factor. Ideally something that's
it almost has to have like a novelty is what it sounds like, something that like makes it just like a new thing they've never seen before.
Exactly. And then on top of that, the stuff that we see doing really well too has this conception that they're not going to be able to find it in stores. If I see something and I'm like, oh yeah, that's really cool, but I see that every time I go to Target, or that's every time I go to Walmart, someone's just going to buy it in Walmart because that's just like a process that's a bit easier for them. So it has this wow factor. It's super unique, problem solving. And they're like, you know what? I might not be able to find this anywhere else. I'm going to get it right here. So that's typically what we see doing well. That's not 100% of the products on there. There are products that they're also in retail. They're also in stores. However, what they're able to do, it's all price at that point. It's like, hey, you can get this at Target for $40. It's 27 on TikTok right now.
Gotcha.
So that's what we're seeing across the board.
Are they seeing, I'm imagining like if you have 1,000 people post videos about your product and whatever, you do 10 million views across platform. Naturally, you're going to see branded search volume lift everywhere, right? On Google, on Amazon. Is that something that's happening?
It's insane. And that's where the brands that are smart and they're like really jumping in this, that's where all the money's actually being made. They are completely fine with just breaking even on TikTok Shop because they know the real money is in the LTV. The real money is in all the halo that's coming over into Amazon, into other platforms. If I can share my screen, I got some screenshots of this.
Yeah, you should be able to. Let me know if you can't.
All right. So for example, here's the top brand on TikTok right now, right? You can see where they went viral. And this is not just like a one-off brand. This happens for pretty much every brand that goes viral. You get this crazy lift in search, and that goes to Amazon. It goes to all the other platforms. So a brand like this, they're actually cool with breaking even or like slightly losing money on that first purchase on TikTok for this reason in particular.
Unbelievable. That is the most insane graph I've seen. And just for context for people of what that search volume increase looks like, that's going from 50,000 searches a month to 110,000 searches a month in 30 days. So I'm sorry, I'm just looking up the keyword volume change over time, like on my side of it. So you're doubling basically the branded searches. So you can basically take a brand from like non-existent to existent within 90 days is what I'm seeing here.
Here's another brand that we're working with right now. And
insane.
Like you can just see the spikes line up with like videos that go viral. So these guys, same with the other ones, they're running a pretty big like giveaway campaign and everything, like prizes and whatnot. And they've just been super viral on the platform. They were like a top 10 brand at one point. I think they're like top 20 right now, doing over $1 million a month. But they're another one that like I had an interview with these founders and they're like, hey, we don't want to lose money, but we're cool with running like really thin margins there because we know we're going to get the repeat purchases. We're going to get the halo onto Amazon and onto their Shopify store.
Are there brands that are picking a champion product, like only promoting that, and then they know that's going to create lift within their entire SKU catalog as well? So they're like, okay, cool, we're going to go, maybe we take a loss on, I'm just imagining like maybe it's a baby clothes company or something like that. And we're going to promote this Halloween footsie, whatever, pajama or something, right? So they know that they can ride that wave that's coming right now with the holiday. But the goal is like, oh, if I can get their email address and a purchase to it. So does TikTok provide that data back to you? Do you know who that individual is, or is it anonymous?
Going back to your first question, that is the exact strategy. Like you hit the nail on the head. We see a lot of brands come over. They're like, hey, we have 500 products in our catalog. And it's okay. No, we're not going to do that. Let's focus on maybe 1, 2, 3. You want to really dial into like your core, like TikTok SKU, right? What's going to be that one that's going to like break through the noise? And then going back to what I was talking about earlier with the retargeting ecosystem, you want to take all of your affiliate power and really focus it onto 1 or 2 core products. You'd rather have 1,000 affiliates promoting one product and really getting that product to go viral than 1,000 affiliates promoting 1,000 different products and then it's just noise. Nothing happens. But yeah, we always recommend, hey, start with 1, 2, 3 at the most, but really we say, hey, 1, pick your core product.
Yeah,
that you
whatever
really
your best seller is,
with.
and just make it. Yep.
Exactly. And even better, if you can create like a TikTok only item, especially if you're one of these like big like legacy brands. The example I'll bring up is Tarte Cosmetics. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Huge makeup beauty space, right? They're in Sephora, Ulta, all the huge stores. They released this bundle. It's called like the Tarte Trio. They released it early this year, and it basically took 3 of, I don't know, their best sellers. I think it was like slightly smaller, like test size of it. And they gave a really good price on that bundle. And you could only get it on TikTok Shop. And like that thing went crazy.
I'm looking at it right now. TikTok made me buy it bundle.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And so that one went insane. That was one actually that we had, one of our affiliates did like over 1 million GMV in a month for Tarte across multiple videos. And a lot of those videos, what it was, hey, here's the bundle on TikTok. You can get it for $27. I'm in Sephora right now. Look at this. When I add these 3 together, it's $65 or whatever it is.
Totally. Yeah, I'm just looking at their website and they have a join waitlist for that bundle, which is even crazier. So if they're not purchasing it there, they're probably also building this email list out as well. So absolutely nuts. Data-wise, do you get the data that TikTok, like, or does that stay on platform? It's like an isolated thing.
It stays on TikTok, but I think they're working on this. And you mentioned earlier, like the repurchase and the ability to subscribe. I don't know exactly when, but like I'm thinking early next year. Like there's been a lot of whispers of you'll be able to subscribe on TikTok, but for now it's all.
How has the communication been with them? Has it been just like have at it, or do you have like contacts there? I know you guys you're touching thousands of affiliates, you're hundreds of brands with your guys' company. What has that relationship been like with them?
I actually think it's been great. So I know we get some special treatment because we're a top 10 agency in terms of GMV driven. I've met them in person. I've been to the office. I actually did 90 minutes of different calls yesterday with people within TikTok talking about just getting my feedback on, hey, how do you want us to do this next update with like our partner dashboard and all this stuff? It's actually been really good on our end. They've been like super helpful to work with. they seem to release things pretty quickly. Like they move pretty fast, which is nice as well.
No, that's amazing. Awesome.
We also, on that point, they started rolling out probably halfway through this year, just like tests with a handful of partners on giving access to the TikTok Shop API. That's the route they want to go, is partner with companies like us that are going to be able to just help them generate more GMV by allowing us to build on top of what they have. So earlier in the call, we talked about how a lot of these top brands, they're just paying creators on a monthly retainer to make content. Right now, that process is super messy, right? If you want that as a
100%.
brand, it's like, wire this dude in a Discord like 50 grand and cross your fingers, hope something happens.
I was about to ask, like, where is it happening? Of course it's Discord.
That's literally where it's happening. And you got to be deep in this whole world to even like get your feet into that. So it's super messy. It's not clear. It's not transparent. What we've built is a marketplace where we can connect our whole network of creators and these brands that want it. You can go in, post a job, and you're going to get people in our network that are applying to work with you. And you're going to get to see how much GMV have they driven, their average GMV per video, their top performing videos, categories, all of the data. TikTok allows us to pull directly from their API, so we can show everything in there. And then these creators can set their own rates too. So you can see, okay, this guy, he's crushing it. He's $2,000 a month. She's performing at this level. Here's her rates. And you can basically go in and build your team, right? You can build your roster of affiliates, manage it all from there.
Oh, that's fascinating, man. And then you guys are handling the payment transaction. That's like a part of it. And then your guys' company, just a perfect segue for the shill. So it's Brand Meets Creators. Is that right? It's brandmeetscreators.com.
Yeah, brandsmeetcreators.com.
Amazing. Okay, so you work with these brands directly. You're building out this platform. Just to talk about the business side of this, like, how do you guys function or think about this from an agency standpoint? Are you a global team? Are you only working US? What are you structuring the business or the kind of the company as?
Yeah, right now, US only, because it's not really available globally right now. I think it's available in 7 countries. It's like US, UK, and then the Philippines, handful of random countries, but everything's really US based. So that's what we're focusing on. And that goes for both the creators and the brands as well, right? If you live in Canada, you just don't have access to TikTok Shop.
Totally.
So yeah, we're all US based right now. And we really look to partner up with brands that like they see the potential in TikTok Shop and they're like, yes, like we got budget. We want to blow this up. How do we do it fast? Because what a lot of brands do right now and what the method used to be, brands come onto the platform and they just want to work purely on the gifted basis, right? Purely an affiliate basis where it's like, hey, we send you the product, you make an affiliate video for us, and that's it. That process is becoming a little bit harder and harder now. And here's why. It's this like chicken or the egg scenario, right? A brand that has 0 sales, an affiliate looks at that and goes, why would I ever promote this store?
Yeah, totally.
I know the way that I'm going to make money. I'm going to promote the Tarte crazy viral bundle. I'm going to put these other ones.
We already know that's selling. You can see the public data around it. Why would I switch my focus to anything else?
Exactly. Because TikTok shows that data too. I go to the store, I see exactly how many sales it is. And so this brand, like, in order to get sales, you need affiliates, but in order to get affiliates, you get sales. And so you're in this like tough phase in the beginning where it's just a grind to get those initial sales. You start to get some sales, then it's easier to get affiliates, and then you get the snowball going. What we really help brands with is like, how can we expedite that process? And it's really, okay, and I'm going to pay you. Because now if you're like, hey, I'll pay you $1,000 to make 30 videos. Now a creator's, okay, even though you guys got 0 sales, you're going to pay me some upfront. Cool, I'll do it. And like we can set up 100 of those partnerships at scale. So then it's, hey, we're doing
0-1 this whole channel for a brand.
Yeah, we want to get on TikTok. Let's just turn it on overnight. Let's not wait 6 months to have this like slow grind. I
imagine creator wise, like the demographic, the kind of profile of those individuals are a lot of the brands that you're working with is a lot of like beauty products. So I imagine they're like trying to mainly hire like women, basically, is what I'm assuming. Yep. But there's probably a surplus of men that will also do this because they're trying to make a ton of money online. How are you guys handling that with like supply and demand?
Yeah. Here's what's super interesting about us. And I don't really know how this happened. I think it's because we started out more in like the UGC space. Back when I started the company in 2021, it was all UGC, right? How can I be a UGC creator? Which leans more female in demographic. Our community right now it's over 90% women. We had our first ever like in-person event middle of this year, and we only had one guy. The rest were female, and about 60 to 70% were moms. So that's our community. I don't know how it happened, but it did. So
what's the average age that you're seeing?
I can get
Probably like 25 to 30.
Yeah, probably around 30. Like if I just picked one person at random out of a hat from our group, she would probably be a 31-year-old mom with 2 kids. That's like doing this part-time and trying to figure out how to do it full-time. That's like our core, which is interesting because there's a handful of these big kind of TikTok shop affiliate networks out there. And a lot of them are 18-year-old make money online guys that are
totally different, just psychographic.
Yeah. And so I would say if you have a creatine like gym supplement for like younger guys, there's probably better partners out there for you. But if you have a new interesting like skincare thing that you're trying to sell to 20 to 40-year-old women, like that's us. That's right.
100%. Talk to me about this brand resurrection idea. We're about to work with a company and that's basically doing this. It's like a legacy brand. They got purchased by PE, about to roll this out. We're working with them on the SEO side, but I'm just really interested to hear like how you're seeing that be successful. You laid it out already, but are there any other examples, specifically in the clothing category rather than the beauty space, that you've seen be successful for that? I imagine a bundle again would work, right? Where it's, hey, this is normally a $200 value. You can get it for $99 or something like that. Would that work, or have you seen that work, or what does that look like?
That's the first thing that needs to be done, right? The product is the most important part. We've taken our network of affiliates, right? We could get brand A, 1,000 affiliates, brand B, 1,000 affiliates, same amount of videos, same everything. The only variable that changes is the actual product, and results are like 100 times different. So like nailing the product and like what that offer is the most important part. Right? Like we've seen brands Neutrogena where it's just, they just try to throw up like their standard like face wash at the same price that it's at in Target. And that's not going to move. We could get 1 million affiliates. No one's going to scroll on TikTok, see a video and it's, oh, cool. It's the normal face wash that I see every day when I'm at the store. There's no price difference. Why am I ordering it on TikTok shop and I'm going to have to wait like longer for shipping? Makes no sense. But if you can come in, if you are one of these like legacy brands and like your product, it's not like that crazy. You want to try to make either like a cool bundle, something that's unique, or even like a unique, like something that has like a TikTok twist to it on that product. That's where a lot
literally just calling it the TikTok bundle as well. I mean, like that, I feel like that's such an easy playbook to run.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're trying to hit that $50 kind of impulse buy price point. So if it's normally $100 for this bundle, does something like that make sense where it's 50% off and then so it's still in that like bundle range, but they feel like they're getting a discount? I'm just thinking about the psychology of the pricing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like the one on Google Trend chart we looked at earlier, the brand's Goalie, right? Goalie, they sell supplements. They sell them everywhere, right? It's in like CVS and whatnot. What they did with the product to get it to be a number one product, they just took it and like their price on TikTok, they just made it cheaper than anywhere else. So there were so many of these viral videos that were like, hey, you can go buy this ashwagandha, blah, blah, blah. Here's what it costs in CVS. Like it's $39.99. Oh, it's 40% off on TikTok. Go get it here. So if you are a product that you can get in stores, you can get anywhere else, you have to give people a reason.
It's a repeatable person. I'm just over here and I'm like, if you're listening to this, just take one of these brands that has already done this, like a native deodorant that did a natural deodorant or something like that. Go and spin one of these up and then price it at a price where it's, you're just break even, but you could build this brand. You could probably do this and flip a brand in whatever, 1.5 to 2 years to PE that just got huge based off of this channel. That's the arbitrage. When I hear like all of this happening, like that is immediately what comes to my mind thinking about this.
And all the top,
man.
all the top
I wish I had more time. I want to spin something up like this so bad. I'm just saying, I live for growth marketing. I love this stuff. And like when you hear arbitrages like this, this happens every 3 to 5 years that you get something that is this monumental. So it's how do you seize it? But are you guys building your own brands on the agency side? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
that's exactly where I was going with it too. I have the same level. I have the same level of excitement where I'm like, man, like we've taken so many brands from nothing to $1 million a month, multiple 6 figures per month, and
totally
cool. I'm getting paid and I got like a rev share with them, but I should own this company. You know what I mean? So yeah, I have 2 in the works.
I need to introduce you to my brother, man. He used to do tons of sourcing in China and just spent a lot of time there doing that. He would be, I think, interesting to talk to because like they can basically find out anything and then beat the price up just ridiculously. So anyway, we can talk about it offline, but it might be interesting where you're like, yo, there's a market gap with this, find me a thing. And then he's set up like the whole thing where it's go build 3PLs out, etc. Anyway, yeah. But so brand wise, what are you guys thinking about, like category wise, where you see this opportunity? Imagine supplements, I imagine like beauty products, probably staying away from clothing just because it's a pain on the SKU side. Something that you can have like single size, right? What are you guys thinking about personally?
So for me, the two brands that I'm rolling out, we haven't announced them yet, but my thought process for everything doesn't really matter the category as much. We are trying to reverse engineer virality, right? Like some of these brands, the ones that have really popped, right? 0 to 1 million a month, it's because they had this like unique visual, like viral factor, right? Where it's just, wow, that's such a new product that I've never seen something like that before. And it just has a clear way that someone could make content with it. That's what we're starting with. I'm starting with like, how can I create that moment and then back into a product, right? Where a lot of people start with, hey, I want to make a face wash. And then it's, oh, how do I make a face wash go viral? It's actually like, why don't you just start with thinking about the virality and like maybe the face wash, I don't know, it's glow in the dark, or you do something weird that has the viral element. That's a silly example, but that's the thought process, at least. That's how approaching this. Instead of a supplement where it's, you got to take a pill, what if instead, I don't know, there was like a weirder form of ingesting it? Like, yeah, I don't know, stick it in your ear or like just something like that. I'm giving out dumb examples, but that's how we think about it is, okay, how can I take something and now add like a viral factor to it? So those are the products that we're rolling out, really just like content first with everything that we're doing.
Totally. No, it's so funny, man, because like in SaaS and right now, especially on the consumer side, like they're doing that same strategy. Cool. What is the content format I can sell a thing with? And then let's go build the application, right?
Yep.
Like almost beginning with the distribution strategy. And we're seeing this flow over so much right now. I just had a conversation yesterday with this VC firm that's like looking for help on just consulting go-to-market strategies for their early stage start. And like for them, they're like, yo, we have this product. We know there's an audience. We have no idea how to, grow it basically. And I'm realizing like, oh, this is like a terrible way to build a company actually. Like product first and then figure out distribution? Like absolutely not. And you should be focusing on distro, then work your way into the product, because that product distribution fit is actually harder now than building the product out, I feel like. Does it feel that same way in the e-com space? Like with getting anything manufactured is easier than it's ever been before. If it's more of like obviously if it's not proprietary technology or something like that. But I guess I'm curious, like, are there challenges that you're facing in that supply chain side, like finding the things that will go viral, or what does that look like?
I completely agree with you that right now distribution is everything. And that's how I think about, that's how we got to where we are. Basically, I would say the main reason I got here today and built this massive network is because we built out a platform that builds our distribution. So we built this job board for brands and content creators. We made the whole thing free. Like we lose money on that. And that's purely distribution for us. That attracts creators every day. That attracts 400 brands per month there. And I'm cool just like losing money on that on the front end to help build our distribution. And I think a lot of these e-com brands should be thinking about it the same way, because you're right. It's now easier and faster than ever that someone can go spin off like a knockoff of your greens powder. Like that'll take someone 6 weeks to do. The product is less of the moat. It's the same thing in the SaaS world, right? We're going to build up this platform and like, realistically, someone could just copy the code in a matter of a couple weeks. At this point, it's not the code, 1,000%. That's the moat. So like for us, our moat is our network. So everything I do, I want to figure out how can I make that network grow, because that's the moat. You can go and you can rip our platform and build the same thing in 6 weeks. You can't get the 90,000 creators that we have on there. And so I don't know what the answer is for those e-com brands, but I'm in complete agreement right now that like the distribution, that's what the actual moat is right now. And that's what a lot of these brands need to figure out. And that's why I think
the community is the differentiator. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's why I think they're going all in with TikTok Shop, because now they can get millions and millions of views per month. They can get that distribution, the brand growth like it's never been before.
Totally. There's so many parallels of what's happening in your guys' world and what's happening in mine. There's this crossover with this idea of like community, products, and then like building that distribution mechanism, like all of those things. And also this, I'm going to build an agency and then build software that basically facilitates that agency and then build brands based off of this whole symbiotic relationship.
That's what we're doing.
I just look at what you guys are doing, and from the outside in, I'm like, this is it's a powerful moment. I'm also also just, it's going to erupt for you guys. It's going to go nuclear just based off of everything that you've shared. So anyways, I'm so excited. I'm stoked that we met and got to talk about all this. And are there questions I should be asking you that I'm not, like, about this space? Are there things that are important or really ways to be effective that I didn't lead us to in the conversation so far?
Yeah, I think one key point, and we see this a lot, is TikTok is not a platform where you can just come in and say, hey, I'm gonna test the waters out here. It's almost backwards from the Facebook, the Meta ad world, where you start ripping your Facebook ads, and you're typically the most profitable when you're at the least scale, right? And as you scale those ads, you get less and less profitable. It's the opposite on TikTok. You're the least profitable right away because that chicken or the egg scenario that I'm talking about. Your store has no sales. Yep. Affiliates aren't going to want to promote your store. TikTok doesn't want to show your stuff because it's not earning them money. And like, you really have to go through this big launch process, right? I make these analogies of, it's like pushing a snowball down a hill. It's like launching a rocket ship, right? Once you're in orbit, it goes so much easier. You look at any of these top brands, they pick up hundreds of affiliates every day on autopilot just because they're the top brands and affiliates want to promote the top brands. And so when you're just getting on to TikTok Shop, there is no, let me just test this out. Let's just send 50 samples and see what happens. It's going to come crashing right down because you don't have enough.
What's the minimum investment that you're seeing be necessary for this to even make sense? Like, you don't even approach this unless you're willing to spend X.
Here's the thing. That number is growing pretty much every day. Like, it's getting more and more competitive right now. That's why we actually started to introduce this model of paying creators on a monthly retainer, because it's just a way to expedite that process. But if you're not willing to put at least 5,000 a month into this on just like sending samples and like working with creators, you're going to struggle. And we see a lot of people that like, they want to jump in and they want to get an ROI in 2 or 3 weeks. It's not going to work. And we've run some of the numbers. So I was a data analyst in my past life, and we get stupid amounts of data. We get stupid amounts of data back from TikTok with our network. So I ran an analysis across 60,000 videos that we had. 90+% of those videos make $0. And for the most part, it takes these brands 5, 6, 7 months to like really hit their stride. A lot of brands come in and they're like, hey, we sent 200 samples this first month. We're not seeing an ROI. We have to pull the plug. And I'm like, I wish you would have told me that before, because I could have told you that was going to happen. So yeah, that's another thing, is it's not really a channel.
Dude, that's so hard about the agency side, is like framing the expectations. And then I don't know. Every marketing person is, tomorrow we need results. There's no way that's going to happen in any of this.
It can happen with some of these brands. Like, we've seen it 0 to $1 million a month in 2 months.
Yeah, but that's like an anomaly. It's 1 out of 100, whatever.
Yeah. But like, it does happen, but like, you have to be willing to like really go in for that launch. I make the analogies like, hey, we're gonna put 10% of fuel in the rocket ship and launch it and see what happens. I'll tell you right now, it's coming crashing back down.
Explode. Yeah, totally.
You got to really push, because you got to break that barrier. And once you do, once your brand is now doing 30, 50K, 100K a month, now you pick up more affiliates. The affiliates convert.
Yeah, it's natural that's happening.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing.
How many affiliates are you launching these brands with? Is it like 500 in month 1, 1,000?
Yeah, 1,000.
Nice.
That's one of the offers we have right now is, hey, we'll get you 1,000 new affiliates. It's just one of those things where it's like, hey, if you want to
test round number.
Yeah. If you want to test it with 50 affiliates, I can tell you right now, like, what's going to happen is 47 of them are going to make 0 sales, and maybe the top 3 will get you something. But right now, it's like every video is like a lottery ticket.
Really gaming the charts is what this is actually. Like, it's funny. So in podcasting, this is the same strategy. You try to hit a top Apple chart, because then you get this natural pickup effect that happens. So there's only 300 slots in each of the categories. If you hit one of those tops, same snowball effect, right? It's like you hit a chart, you get more downloads. You get more downloads, you climb the chart. You climb the chart, you get more downloads, etc. And it's that same thing happening here.
And probably. So, I'm less familiar with that world, but I would assume the hardest part is just getting to number 299, right? Once you get to 299, then you're like, "Ooh,
it's done.
Now it's coming in." Same thing with this. So you get your products going. Now you're picking up affiliates left and right. That stuff converts better. Like, it just makes everything smoother. But a lot of brands, they can't get to that point.
No, that makes total sense. But Mike, dude, thank you for giving me so much of your valuable time, man. Where can people find you if they want to reach out and work with you on this type of stuff?
Yeah, you can either look up my name, Mike Rama, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, wherever, or check out brandsmeetcreators.com.
Amazing, man. We'll link that in the show notes as well. And dude, thank you again for coming on. I you can't tell I'm over here and I'm like, all right, do I just quit everything I'm doing? Because it sounds so interesting and honestly so fun, like as a marketer to be able to do that, to like influence that many people. Like the 0 to 1 of a brand it's such like that idea is just interesting. There's like a gravity to it. So anyway, man, I appreciate it again. Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it too, man. This was fun.
Awesome.
See it.